we learn about lipid. Lipid have three, which are triglyceride, phospholipids, and sterols. For the triglyceride, glyceride made up of one glycerol and 3 fatty acid. For fatty acid, depends on the length of carbon chain, degree of unsaturation, and location of double bonds. This is the structure of fatty acid, which have acid N and methyl, group methyl. First, fatty acid depend on the length of carbon chain, which have three. First, long chain fatty acid have 12 to 24 carbon, which have meat, fish, vegetable oils. Second, medium chain fatty acid have 6 to 10 carbon, and short chain fatty acid less than 6 carbon at dairy products. Second, degree of saturation divide by 2. Saturated non-double bond and unsaturated have double bond. For unsaturated, divide by 2. Monounsaturated lack 2 hydrogen atoms and have 1 double bond. For polyunsaturated, lack 4 or more than hydrogen atom and at least 2 or more double bond. Third, location of double bonds. This is described by omega number. Have 2 omega 3 fatty acid which location double bond at third position, and omega 6 fatty acid location double bond at sixth position. Next, for the glycerol. This is the structure of glycerol. To make the triglyceride, we do the condensation, removal of H from glycerol and OH from 3 fatty acid. Then become triglyceride plus 3 water molecules by condensation. Next, degrees of unsaturation revisited have 4: firmness, stability, hydrogenation, and transfate. For firmness, unsaturated fat, dia akan solid at room temperature. Polyunsaturated, liquid at room, and shorter fatty acid are softer at room temperature than longer chain. For stability, saturated fat the more resistant to oxidation. Monounsaturated slightly less susceptible spoilage, and polyunsaturated spoils most readily. For hydrogenation, protects against oxidation, therefore prolonging shelf life. For trans fatty acid, change from cis to trans configuration and act like saturated fat in the body. Next, for the lipid kan divide by 3. Phospholipid for the second, which for phospholipid divide into 2 in food and rules. For food, phospholipid contain glycerol, 2 fatty acid, 1 phosphate and 1 choline group. Phospholipid ni as emulsifiers in food industry and known as lecithin. Phospholipid ni banyak dijumpai di telur, hati, soybeans, wheat germs and peanuts. For the role of phospholipid, dia ni transport lipids across the cell membranes. Macam ni structure dia, di mana ada glycerol head, fatty acid tails and watery fluid. Next, for the sterols, dia structure dia multiple ring structure macam gini. Dia banyak dijumpai plant and animal food such as meat, eggs, fish, poultry and dairy products. The roles of sterols, the starting material for bile acids, sex hormones, adrenal hormones and vitamin D. Sterols also structural component of cell membranes. Sterol ni liver produce cholesterol per day, di mana atherosclerosis is a disease akan menyebabkan heart attack sebab cholesterol form deposit in the artery wall. This example structure of vitamin D.
One is lipid digestion. Macam biasa dia akan berlaku di 3 tempat, iaitu yang pertama in mouth, yang mana in mouth ni salivary glands akan release lingual lipase, iaitu sejenis enzim untuk hydrolysekan lipid. Biasanya dia akan jadi kat orang besar maupun kecil. Kalau yang infant, dia akan digest the short and medium chain fatty acid yang dijumpai dalam susu. Seterusnya yang kedua in stomach, strong muscle contraction disperse fat into smaller droplet. Ini dia pecahkan fat tu kepada small molecule, dan fat ni akan expose to gastric lipase enzyme. Fat akan enter to trigger to release cholecytokinin ataupun CCK, dan akan bagi signal kepada gallbladder untuk meriliskan bile. Lepas tu, most of hydrolysis triglyceride akan berlaku di small intestine, yang mana pancreatic and intestinal enzyme akan hydrolyze lipid to monoglyceride and fatty acid. For phospholipid akan hydrolyze and sterol absorb as A. Okey, untuk by route akan ada dua laluan. Yang first, enterohepatic circulation, yang mana dia akan reabsorb and recycle dalam intestinal cell. Yang kedua, soluble fiber akan trapping some bile and excrete it from the body through the large intestine. Yang dia akan excrete, dia akan reducekan blood cholesterol. Okay, seterusnya untuk lipid absorption. Lipid absorption ni untuk first small molecule glycerol, short and medium chain fatty acid akan diffuse and diabsorb direct kepada bloodstream. Untuk larger molecule yang mana monoglyceride and long chain fatty acid akan membentuk micelles yang berbentuk spherical complex. Kemudian dia akan diabsorb dan direform into new triglyceride. Lepas tu new triglyceride and other lipid akan pack dengan protein dan akan transport by cyclomicron. Untuk transport lipid ni, yang utamanya cyclomicron. Kalau cyclomicron ni, dia merupakan the largest of lipoprotein. Lepas tu dia less than and get smaller as a triglyceride portion is removed by the cell. Lepas tu transport lain selain tu VLDL ataupun very low density lipoprotein, yang mana dia diperbuat daripada composed primarily of triglyceride and made by the liver, yang mana liver ni tempat most active site of lipid synthesis. Dan dia akan transportkan lipid kepada tisu. Dia akan get smaller and more dense as triglyceride portion is removed. Yang kedua, LDL, iaitu low density lipoprotein, yang mana composed primarily of cholesterol and transport lipids to tissue. The last one is HDL, high density lipoprotein, composed primarily of protein and transport cholesterol from the cell to the liver. Untuk health implication, kalau kalau high LDL, dia akan bawa risiko kepada heart attack, jantung. Dan LDL ni dikenali sebagai bad cholesterol. Lepas tu kalau high HDL, dia sebagai protective effect yang dipanggil good cholesterol. Lepas tu faktor jika lower LDL and raise HDL, dia akan weight control, replace saturated fat with monounsaturated fat and polyunsaturated fat in the diet, soluble fiber, moderate alcohol consumption, physical activity.
Lipids in the body. First is the roles of triglyceride as energy reserve when stored. Body fat stores virtually unlimited capacity, and the special cell is called adipose tissue. Adipose tissue takes up and store triglyceride, and adipose tissue also will secrete adipokines. Adipokines is a protein that help regulate energy balance and influence several body functions. Example of adipokines is leptin, adiponectin, quercetin, and bismuth. Second, triglyceride use carbohydrate and protein efficiently. As we know, liver will convert excess carbohydrate and protein to fat. But if a fat needs carbohydrate to break down efficiently, inefficient breakdown of fat will form ketone bodies. Third role is insulation. Fat is a poor conductor of heat, and the fourth is shock protection, which provide cushion for bones and vital organs. Second, we have 3 essential fatty acid, which is linoleic acid and omega-6 family, which can make arachidonic acid, a 20 carbon polyunsaturated fat, and supplied by vegetables, oils, and meat. Second essential fatty acid is linolenic acid and omega-3 family, which can make EPA and DHA, and also important for eye, brain, and heart. It helps prevention and treatments of heart disease. And third is eicosanoids, which is made from arachidonic acid and EPA. Eicosanoid is like hormones, but it have different effects on different cells, which includes prostaglandin, thrombosins, and leukotrienes. EPA eicosides will reduce blood pressure, prevent blood clot, protect against irregular heartbeat, and reduce inflammation. Lastly is preview of lipid metabolism. First, storing fat as fat. Fat provides 2 times energy as carbohydrate and protein. Adipose tissue readily stores fat. Lipoprotein will hydrolyze triglyceride as they pass into cells to be used for energy storage. And second, storing fat for energy. Hormone-sensitive lipase inside adipose cell hydrolyze triglyceride when needed energy. Triglyceride will release glycerol plus fatty acid to blood. Fasting metabolize fat, but fat require carbohydrate and protein for complete breakdown. Only small glycerol molecule converted to glucose. Ketone bodies can be made from fat fragments.
Next, health effects and recommended intake of lipids. First, heart disease. Elevated blood cholesterol cause cardiovascular disease, which is cholesterol accumulate in arteries. This can restrict blood flow and raise blood pressure. Saturated fat raise blood cholesterol. Second, risk from saturated fat. Saturated fat can raise LDL cholesterol, which is bad cholesterol, and it can increase risk for heart disease too. Food source of saturated fat are whole milk, cream, butter, cheese, and kernel oils. The third one is lipid. First, trans fat. Trans fat can increase LDL cholesterol and decrease HDL cholesterol. HDL cholesterol is the good one for us. Food source of trans fat, which is cakes, cookies, pastry, crackers, meat, and dairy products. Fourth one is cholesterol. Dietary cholesterol has less effect on blood cholesterol than trans fat and saturated fat. Maksudnya, dietary cholesterol ni ada juga efek dia kepada blood cholesterol kita, tapi tak seteruk trans fat dengan saturated fat. Contohnya, egg yolks, milk product, meat, poultry, and shellfish. Benefit from monounsaturated and polyunsaturated fat. Monounsaturated and polyunsaturated fat ni adalah the most effective dietary strategy to prevent heart disease. Maksudnya gantikan yang tadi tu, yang saturated fat tu. Food source contoh untuk monounsaturated, olive, canola, peanut oil, and avocado. Untuk polyunsaturated pula, contohnya vegetable oils, contohnya sunflower, nut, and seeds. Benefits from omega-3 fats, which is it can reduce risk of heart disease and also stroke. Contoh makanan dia veggie oil, walnut, fatty fish, contohnya sardine and mackerels. So, but we have to avoid fish with high mercury. Balance omega-6 and omega-3 intake by eat more fish, less meat, and big, boiled, and grilled fish. No need supplement. Health effect, contohnya cancer. Dietary fat can cause for some types of cancer, tapi taklah sekuat macam risk for heart disease. Fat does not initiate cancer, tapi dia boleh jadi promoter kalau cancer tu memang dah develop. Lepas tu dia increase risk of cancer due to saturated fat or dietary fat from meat. Fat from milk ataupun fish has not been implicated in cancer risk. Last one is obesity. This is due to consequences of high fat, high key calorie in excess of energy needs, and fat contributes more than twice key calories per gram as carb and protein.
Recommended intake of lipid. First, DRI recommended kita ambil lipid 20 to 35% of energy intake, which is equal to 400 to 700 kcals from 2000 kcals of diet. And the FDA suggests 10% of energy intake from saturated, 30% of energy intake from the total fat we consume. 2005 dietary guideline suggests kita ambil diet low in saturated fat and cholesterol and moderate in total fat. And recommended intake of fat untuk daily values, 35 gram fat based on 30% of 2000 kcals diet. And next 20 grams saturated fat based on 10% of 2000 kcal diet, and 300 milligram of cholesterol. And then USDA food guide consider saturated fat as discretionary calories. Okay, guideline to groceries. Biasanya kita pilih meat yang tak ada lemak, lepas tu choose fat free and low fat meats and meat products, and then choose a wide variety of vegetable, fruits and whole grain. Next one is avoid invisible fat from high fat cheese and baker and fried foods. Fat replacer. Fat replacer ni sejenis ramuan yang derived from carbohydrate, protein or fat. Biasanya dia gantikan fat dalam makanan. Fat replacer ni merupakan artificial fats yang offer sensory and cooking qualities, but tak ada kalori, kosong kalori. Next one is read food label sebab it provide information on fat grams and percent of daily value. Percent of daily values are not the same as percent of calories from the fat. For high fat foods, kita have to cook with olive oil because it has benefits. Next, nibble on nuts and feast on fish because fish is rich in long chain omega-3 polyunsaturated fatty acid. We also have mercury caution for pregnant and lactating women and young children. This chart explains if 1% increase in dietary saturated fatty acid will lead to 2% increase in LDL cholesterol and increase 2% in heart disease risk. So we have to limit fatty meats, milk products and tropical oils and read the food labels to determine those lowest in saturated fat. And choose the leaner and lower fat animal foods. Next, limit the hydrogenated food as it contains trans fat